Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Today we'll be breaking down and having our reactions on Kenobi Series Episode 2. This is a spoiler warning for the Kenobi Series. If you haven't seen the episodes, stop the video and go watch the episodes. Once you finish watching the episodes, come back and watch our breakdown of the episode and our reactions to the episode. Let's get started. It opens up on a new planet called Dayu, in which this is the Star Wars version of Hong Kong, in which Kenobi has a hard time tracking a ship, but the planet is designed to keep itself private by blocking off signals. As Kenobi ventures, he asks Qui-Gon for guidance, but still no response. Then a clone trooper calls out to Kenobi for spare change for a warm meal. Kenobi noticed that the clone was part of the 501st Legion. As you remember back in the Bad Batch, Moff Tarkin wanted to decommission the clones and use regular civilian for the army. Kenobi hesitated to respond, not only because it was a clone that he was interacting with, but he was part of the 501st Legion. The 501st Legion was associated with Anakin when they stormed the temple. And also the 501st is also known as Vader's Fist. But most importantly, Kenobi was worried that the clone would recognize him and execute Order 66, in which Kenobi has to blow his cover. But the clone didn't recognize Kenobi, and Kenobi gives him credits. It was awesome to see Terry Morrison reprising his role. As Kenobi ventures through the city, a spice dealer approaches Kenobi and reveals that when a child goes missing, the child will never be found. As you can see that the spice dealer that talks to Kenobi does a special nod to Kenobi. In real life, she's the daughter of Ewan McGregor, which is awesome to see that his family member is also in the Star Wars universe. The spice dealer gave Kenobi spice to forget about the girl. As she leaves, a young boy spots Kenobi confused on where to look, and he brings Kenobi to a Jedi that can help him. Cut to the Jedi helps a family to go off-world, more specifically Corellia. As you remember, Corellia is the home planet of Han Solo. Using the Force and Jedi mind tricks to trick the family into getting him some credits. Then Kenobi exposes the Jedi. The Jedi's name is Haja, for being a fraud by using remotes and magnets. Kenobi uses a blaster to have Haja tell him where to find the girl, and Haja was more than willing to help Kenobi. As he ventures through the city, he does the infamous mustache twirl that he and Alec Guinness do as portraying as Kenobi. He enters the spice room, in which he creates a distraction so he can go to the next room. He was able to do hand-to-hand combat with two people, one knowing to be a Zabrak. He was able to slam the Zabrak's head to the ground, but he placed his hand on his horn, thus was able to cut his hand. He was misled to a room in which the kidnappers cornered him, but he was able to escape by using the spice to break his release and trapping the kidnappers in that room. Then cut to Reva making her way to the room and finding the kidnappers high off the spice. When Kenobi finds Leia, in order to calm her down, he uses the same pose as Leia in A New Hope uses when she makes her recording for her plea for Obi-Wan's help. As Leia and Kenobi make their way through the market, Leia shows her bravery and her outspokenness to Kenobi, in which later on Kenobi is reminded of her late mother, Padme. Later on, the fifth brother, the seventh sister, and the Grand Inquisitor intercepted Reva and pointed out that it is wrong to be kidnapping an Imperial Senate's daughter. Reva mentions that they have done worse, but the Grand Inquisitor made it clear that she will not be better than them whether she captures Kenobi or not. In which the Grand Inquisitor dismisses Reva and he will take point in finding Kenobi. As while they close down the ports and attempt to find Kenobi, Reva goes rogue and puts a bounty on Kenobi, in which all the bounty hunters in the city receives the bounty. The bounty hunters have to report to Reva of Kenobi's location. While on the run, Kenobi noticed that there was a bounty on his head, so he has to make a plan to change his and Leia's clothing. As they continue to travel through the market, he reveals to her that he cannot use the Force to make her float because it will draw attention. And she asked for his name, and he revealed that his name is Ben. She later tells him You think the less you say, the less you give away, but really it's the opposite. Which is very wise words from a young senator. The young boy returns to Haja to tell him about the bounty, and they go out looking for Kenobi. It is important that the Grand Inquisitor tells the fifth brother that Kenobi is the last ember of a dying age, in which that Kenobi shouldn't be taken lightly compared to the other Jedi that they have been hunting for the previous years. Then the seventh sister shows the Grand Inquisitor about the bounty that Reva sent out. In an alleyway, Kenobi and Leia stop for a couple moments. Then Kenobi finds a puck nearby, and he was trying to turn it off because it was mentioning about his bounty. But Leia notices about the bounty, and she thinks that he is lying to her, and she begins to run off, in which the comical Disney chase begins. Surprising that Kenobi wasn't spotted with his hood down, he shot down a bounty hunter as the bounty hunter tried to grab Leia, and he clotheslined another one that was nearby. Then she runs to the rooftop, and the chase continues. Then Kenobi gets cornered by two bounty hunters on different rooftops, in which Reva spots the gunfight in a distance from another rooftop. She displays her Force parkour skills. Leia was stuck at the edge of a roof where her jump would be pretty far, and she was contemplating whether to trust Kenobi or jump, while Kenobi was yelling at Leia to stop, and he was fighting the other bounty hunters at the same time. Kenobi was able to shoot down a bounty hunter, but Leia decides to jump, but she falls and hangs on a rope. Kenobi was begging her to hang on, but her grip loosens up and she eventually falls. Kenobi reaches out and uses the Force to catch her and set her down lightly on the ground. If you notice the expression on his face, it shows that he had to use a lot of effort to use the Force. When she was on the ground, Kenobi comes up to her and she accepts that Kenobi is a Jedi. As they reach to the port, they spot the fifth brother and the seventh sister, and he explains what the Inquisitors are, in which they were Jedi that turned to the dark side, and they hunt Jedi. A bounty hunter appears behind them, but was shut down by Haja. Haja told them that the city was on lockdown and must go to a cargo port, in which it would transport him to another world. That Kenobi was having a hard time trusting Haja, but Haja admits his wrongdoings and wants to create an amends and help Kenobi escape. Haja handed Kenobi coordinates to go to on the next planet. He mentions to Kenobi that he wasn't alone. Then he walks off, shoots the bounty hunter again, and looks for Reva to create more time and space for Kenobi. Cut to the Grand Inquisitor. He uses his lightsaber to gain information from Vect to find where Reva was going. But Vect didn't know, and he gets executed. Reva finally makes her way down the alley, but Haja meets her face to face. She was able to disarm him and use the Force to pin him to the wall, and he was comically making fun of how the Force is not about magnets and tricks. She uses the Force to read his mind to find where Kenobi is. Then Reva appears at the cargo port in which Kenobi and Leia hide. He tells Leia to leave as he prepares himself for a fight. Reva delivers a monologue similar to Darth Vader to Luke in Return of the Jedi. Then she reveals that Darth Vader is Anakin, and Anakin is still alive. Kenobi is very shocked on receiving the news. As Reva was getting closer to Kenobi, the Grand Inquisitor intervened, in which gave Kenobi enough time to escape. Reva pleaded the Grand Inquisitor she has Kenobi pinned, in which the Grand Inquisitor dismisses her and he'll turn over Kenobi. Then she stabs him, but it was already too late. Kenobi made a run forward to the cargo as Leia and him escaped. Reva screams that Kenobi cannot hide any longer. Eventually, they will find him. In the cargo, Kenobi is shocked and awed about the news that Anakin is alive. He says his name, and then a close-up on Anakin as he awakes in the Bacta tank. And the episode ends with his infamous breathing of Darth Vader. Episode 2 was very awesome, corny at some times, especially with the comical Disney chase. The resilience that Kenobi has to avoid using the Force. He shows that he is still efficient in hand-to-hand combat. It was shocking that Reva stabbed the Grand Inquisitor, but I believe this is not the last time we'll see the Grand Inquisitor. Rebels is still canon. And of course, the reveal of Jedi Fallen Order 2 especially the main antagonist is the Grand Inquisitor, I think he is fine. I believe he will be off the series for right now, but he'll be back in Jedi Fallen Order 2 and of course Rebels. I will rate this episode a 4 out of 5. The comical chase and the parkour was overdone, but the resiliency and the callbacks were awesome. Leave a like on this video. Comment down below what you guys think of this episode and what would you rate this episode. Make sure to subscribe to our channel for future content. As always, may the Force be with you.